Welcome, moviegoers. How are we doing? Good, good. Do you have your ticket? All right, what do we have here? Real Swell. Good choice. You want to be in Auditorium 37? It's straight ahead and to the right. Enjoy. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Episode 8. Peter is recovering in the hospital after getting severely beaten by Scorpion in the previous episode. He is all banged up. He's got a dislocated shoulder, probably a bunch of broken ribs, black eye, lots of contusions on his face. And he is in the medical wing of Oscorp, and they take a sample of his blood. And Peter is awake enough to know that they've done that, and he's like, hey, don't do that. But of course, he's weak. He can't really speak, really. So that's interesting that Norman Osborn now has a sample of Peter Parker's blood that will surely come into play later. Norman is trying to talk to Peter and let him know that everything is fine. He spoke with Aunt May because he was in the hospital overnight, so she's probably worried, but they covered for him, told her that he was sleeping overnight, so that is probably all smoothed over with her. Peter is disappointed in himself that he wasn't able to beat Scorpion, that there are a lot of people who could potentially still be hurt because Spider-Man couldn't beat Scorpion. And Norman Osborn tries to give him a pep talk. A self-serving pep talk. But he says something to the effect of, "You're holding back, Peter. Don't be afraid of your strength. Scorpion almost killed you because he wasn't holding back. And if you really want to protect this city, if you really want to protect these people and the people you love, you can't hold back either." And Peter sits with that and he heads home once he's able to recover a little bit more. He gets home to greet Aunt May, which, again, he is still calling her just May, and I still can't get over that. But she confronts him about all of his injuries and the fact that he was out all night, and she had to hear from someone else, not Peter, that he wouldn't be coming home. So they have a heart-to-heart, and Aunt May says that he should be able to come to her if there's something wrong. He should be the one communicating when plans get changed. But she also says that he needs a role model, that she isn't enough, that Uncle Ben could potentially be that person, but unfortunately, he is gone. Peter tries to reassure May that now they've got me doing it. Tries to reassure Aunt May that she is enough and has been enough since Uncle Ben died. Then he goes back to school, and there's this project that he and Dr. Connors have been working on. And it looks like the interdimensional machine from the Spider-Verse, actually. I forget what it was called, but the thing that broke, that opened up all these dimensions where these other villains came through. They were working on that together and they got a breakthrough and it seems to be working. But they don't really go into much more than what it looks like and that it's working. After that class, or that portion of the internship, actually, Pearl hits up Peter and says, "Hey, we've got a school project to work on. Meet me at my house." And there's a third person in this group. Her name is Emma, and she doesn't show. So it's just Pearl and Peter at her house working on this project. And the two of them seemingly have another one of those awkward connection type moments that they shared on the stoop of the school in the previous episode. At the same time, Lonnie is trying to reach out to Pearl. He's been calling her and texting her, and she isn't answering because she doesn't know what to do with him deciding the gang over her and his family. Well, he shows up to her house to try to talk to her. And he says, "Listen, I have to do this. I have to do this for my family, for Dre, and for me. Not only that, but the people in this gang, they protected me. They're not going to let anything happen to me or my family either. And I owe them this." And she says, "No, that's not how this works. You don't have to do that. Scorpion is going after all of them. They're probably not even worried about you at this point. I need you to stay." And she says, "If you do decide to leave and continue on this path, then it's goodbye forever." And Lonnie accepts that, and he leaves, leaving Pearl heartbroken, understandably. Then Peter leaves Pearl's house because he is listening through the open window, this conversation. And he also stops Lonnie and tries to have that same conversation, and it goes the same way. And he essentially says to Peter, though, "Don't get in my way." What's funny to me about this scene is Pearl gets back to her house, walks back into her house, and Peter's gone because he's out talking to Lonnie. She doesn't know where he went. But the next scene after Peter speaks with Lonnie, Peter is just walking down the street, going back home. We never realize, or we never get to Pearl and Peter talking about why he just disappeared. It was very strange that they didn't close that. Maybe it'll come up in the next the next episode. Now, Peter takes what Aunt May said about having a role model and kind of puts Norman in that role. Even though all the expectations he's trying to live up to, all of the strength that he believes he needs are coming from Norman, he's still going to go try to talk to him about how he's feeling about what Norman said to him. And Norman says, "You have a lot of strength, and you should be using that to its full potential and not be afraid of it." He says, "You have this power that's locked inside of you. You need to tap into that so that when you go up against Scorpion again, it goes differently." Then he says, "With great power comes great respect." And I almost threw something at my TV because I was like, there's no way that's where they're going. It can't be. Because the Peter Parker that we've gotten is so impressionable that he could run with that. He could really believe that his weakness is he isn't using his power, his strength, to overcome his battles. And it looks like that's what's happening, is he begins to believe that's the route he needs to take. And I let the episode continue just in case they were gonna undo what just happened in the last 45 seconds. Well, after that conversation, Norman leaves and Harry enters the office where they were having that conversation. And Harry and Peter kind of talk through it again. And Peter says to Harry that Norman said, I've got all this power and I need the city to respect me. And once they respect me, then I will feel as though I'm strong enough to do all of the things that I need to do. And Harry agrees that having a lot of power also garners a lot of respect, because he sees that in his dad. His dad is a very powerful man and people respect him. And he doesn't necessarily say this as clearly as could have been said, but he essentially argues, you aren't my dad. You're Spider-Man. You need to figure out what you need to do. And Peter says, yeah, maybe you're right. But even if I wanted to get back out there, I can't, because the suit is basically totaled because of the damage it sustained during the fight with Scorpion. Well, Harry put out the word to some of the tech guys at Oscorp and had Peter's suit redone or created. He had another one created. And he based it off of some of the doodles in Peter's notebook. Peter walks up to the case where the suit is being held, and we just get a glimpse of it in the reflection of his glasses. And it looks like the main Spider-Man suit. It's red, it's got the webbing on the face, because previously he's had this white suit and the blue spider emblem across it. I am very glad that that suit got destroyed, because it looked awful to me. The color just clashed way too much, and in certain frames and certain scenes it looked white and black, as if he's working for Mr. Negative. I didn't like that suit design at all. So I believe in the next episode we're going to go back to the red and blue and the webbing throughout the suit. So I'm looking forward to that. We also get a very strange cameo in this episode. Otto Octavius is in his workshop and he's getting ready to meet a buyer or a seller. No, he's getting ready to meet a buyer for some of his tech. And Norman has called the police on him, because in the previous episode he found his location. So Thunderbolt Ross and the SWAT team bust into his hideout, and they are about to arrest him. And we get our first glimpse of his mechanical arms. They aren't attached to him, they're actually in the ceiling and in the rafters. And he uses them as a defense and offense against all the SWAT team who are trying to bring him in. He fights through all of them, and he gets outside where he meets Ross, and he quips with him and says, I've got to go. You can't really arrest me. I haven't done anything, so I'm just going to leave. Well, Iron Man comes swooping out of the sky, and he says, all right, bowl cut, you're under arrest. And that's literally it. He swoops in, says one line of dialogue, and we just cut to another scene. Why is Iron Man here? Where has he been this entire time? For anything? Well, That's very strange. We also see Lonnie becoming a leader within the 110th Street gang. They collect some money to obtain a tip from someone about where all these other weapons are coming from, specifically where Scorpion got his tech from. And someone comes through, tells them that it's Otto Octavius and where to find him. But because of how it went last time when they met Scorpion, most of the gang members are hesitant, to say the least. And Lonnie kind of uses his high school quarterback vibes to raise everyone's spirits and get everyone hyped to go fight this Scorpion after they obtain whatever they can from Otto Octavius, if they can. This episode finally begins to give us some character development for Peter Parker. 8 episodes in, we're finally here. We finally get the raw emotion from Peter and him dealing with being Spider-Man and what comes with being Spider-Man. The expectations, the responsibility, and what he has to do in order to protect either the city, the people in it, and the people he loves. So I appreciate that, and I look forward to next week when they release the next episodes. Thank you for coming to this screening of Real Swell. I hope you enjoyed. As you head out, I've got 3 things to ask of you. 1, pick up your trash. These ushers don't get paid enough. Number 2, make sure you are following so you don't miss the next screening. And number 3, hit that heart for me. I'll see you all next time. Make sure you've got your ticket.